Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. And what I got for you today is a review of another neat quadcopter, and I think this one is actually pretty dang neat. This is the UPAir 1. Now notice I said UPAir, not UPAir Chase. The UPAir 1 was originally released back around November of 2015, so this has been out for a while. But that company was bought out, I believe, around the Lunar New Year, around February. Everybody was sent home, and the company reorganized, and I don't know if they retooled or what, but this is not the UPAir Chase UPAir 1. This is the UPAir 1. This is the first production run of the new UPAir 1 under new management. Banggood, I believe, is the first company to have this receive this and send it out. This has a 2K or 4K camera, depending on which one you want. I got the 2K model. This aircraft is what I'd like to call an FPV Explorer. And what that is a quadcopter that has both FPV camera and a GPS system and an ability to fly long range. And that's what this one does. Actually, I think it's kind of a bargain for what you're getting in this particular quadcopter. I believe this runs a little over $300, $310, $320 for the 2K and somewhat more for the 4K version, 4K camera version. But keep in mind what you're getting. You're getting the quadcopter. You're getting a stabilized 2-axis gimbal already installed, ready to go, with the camera already installed, ready to go. You know, a 2K camera. You are getting a FPV system, and when I mean FPV system, we're not talking a shabby receiver. This is actually a pretty dang high resolution screen. I've been actually looking for information what the actual resolution is of this screen is, but it's very good. I can't find any information that describes what the screen resolution is on this. I'm sure one of my viewers out there will be able to provide that information below, and we'll include that when it's known. But in addition to the FPV, it also has on-screen display of a lot of important and pertinent GPS parameters. And you'll see that, we'll discuss that as we're flying. That's the biggie that I really like about this, particularly the little arrow that points home. You know, which way do you go home? It's real easy. It prevents you from getting lost while you're up in the sky. So, let's see, we talk about many of the features of the quadcopter. Forgot to mention 5,400 milliamp hour smart battery, which means that this battery, if you store it for a long time with a long high charge, it will lower that charge to prevent damage to the battery. It also includes a built-in balance charger inside, on the front case of the battery here. It also tells you battery, charge level by just quick pressing the button. That's about it. The biggest thing about a smart battery is its ability to lower the charge to prevent damage to the LiPo. I like that in this feature. Other things on the quadcopter, you have your, I believe this is the compass antenna up in the front right leg. You have the FPV and on-screen display antenna on the back rear leg. And you have the 2.4 gigahertz receiver antenna in the front left leg. So that's it. Let's go over the transmitter. Transmitter, they call it an ergonomic design. It does feel good in your hand. It looks similar to the DJI transmitters. The button on the front here activates the camera. The back button takes a photo. You can fly in altitude hold, position hold, or IOC mode, which is headless mode, by flipping this switch up or down on the right. And to do that, you have to be in normal position, which is up. Or you can do return to home, a manual return to home, by pulling this upper left switch back. Now, another thing about return to homes, this quadcopter will return to home if on loss of transmission. That's good. That's expected, actually. But also on low battery power, it'll come back and land itself. So keep that in mind. It has 2 fail-safe return to homes. This scroll wheel on the right, this controls the tilt of the lens. And on the back here, we have the on-off switch If you move it to the right, it turns on both the transmitter and the monitor. If you move it to the left, it turns on just the transmitter only if you want to save battery power by not using the monitor. And we have the antennas for both FPV and for control of the quadcopter. Now to start the quadcopter, there's one method to start is to pull it down and out. And I think you can also start it by going down and in. And that will put the quadcopter into idle. But to stop the quadcopter on landing, after you bring it down and land it, pull down the throttle and hold it down and it will shut down. Do not do down and out or the quadcopter will tilt, I found out the hard way. It will tilt into the ground. You don't want to do that. So remember, when you land, down on the throttle only. Okay, I think that's about it. Now what I'm going to do today, this is actually my 4th flight of this quadcopter. I wanted to get it perfect. I wanted you to see this on-screen display was a biggie. And I was having problems getting the cameras lined up. And I'd forget to turn on a camera. And I just don't want to go into it. I had a lot of effort. So this is the 4th try of the UPAir chase, or the UPAir 1. So hopefully I'll get all the cameras working this time. So hope you enjoy this flight. Let's go into it. Well, as you see, I got my sunscreen attached to the transmitter, and I have a camera, an action camera inside there recording the screen directly. So I'm hoping this is going to work out, because I don't want to do this again. This is the 4th try, folks, to get all the cameras to work. I know I'm recording on my hat this time. Okay, I got to remember to turn on the camera on the quadcopter as soon as we energize it. Okay, to start this up, you turn the screen on again by moving to the left. And that turns both the transmitter and the screen on, and I see the UPAir logo. Now to turn the quadcopter on, this took me a while to figure out, but you got to do a quick press and then a prolonged press. And that'll start up the quadcopter. And you got to do that in rapid sequence. Quick press and long press. And that's for shutting down the quadcopter also. So here we go. Let me put this on a more level surface too. How about right here and point it toward the mountains for IOC. And remember, a quick press and a long press. Okay. And the gimbal of the camera is touching the ground. Hold on, folks. Sorry about that. And I got to take off the camera lens, or the camera lens protector. And can we move it up and down? Yes, we can. We're not entirely level, but I guess that's good. Okay, so the lens is correct. Let me turn on the transmitter, or the recorder. Quick press of the forward button, like I mentioned. Right now we got 6 satellites. We're waiting for all satellites. Let me move. See, it has pan and tilt, or tilt, just tilt control. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, we have 8 satellites. We have 12 satellites. We are good to go. Now, notice the information we got on the screen here. I'll discuss that here shortly as soon as we get into the air. Okay, again, to start this, down and out on the throttles and pitch control, and then give it some throttle to get into the air. I'm going to make sure I'm in GPS mode, position hold, in other words. And let's send it up to about here and check the GPS lock that we got. Now, I could not find any information on how to calibrate the compass on this quadcopter, which means this compass does not need calibration, so according to the factory. Let's see how it's holding. We got 15 satellites, so we got a lot of good satellite lock, and we do have relatively good hold of the GPS. I'm going to move away from it a bit, and I'll put it straight due west. Now I can actually point it due west. Okay, see the compass in the upper middle position? And see that little arrow right below the compass? That information is very handy. That's a little arrow pointing the way home. Okay, let's go out. I'm going to go outbound, pushing forward. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in IOC. Dang it. Now I'm in GPS position to hold. That's much better. Let's bring it back here. That was just sitting there in IOC. But okay, it's holding its position very well. Rotating it back. Pointing it back to the west. That was an IOC. I'm sorry, folks. I should have checked my screen. Pointed due west. Toward the mountains, actually, is where I want to go. And away we go. Now that arrow is pointing to where it took off, not to where I'm standing. And out we go. Now let's look at the information on our screen here. In the upper left corner, we see the little camera. I'm going to go up a little higher too. I'm going to go up to about 50 meters. Upper left corner, the camera and the number of satellites, we got 16. In the center upper, we have the compass, which says we're going west. Now we're going due west. Below that is that little arrow pointing home to its takeoff position. In the upper right corner, we have 161 meters and with the home sign, so we know how far it is to come back here. That squiggly line, 196 meters, is total distance traveled. And below that is our altitude of 19 meters right now. In the lower right corner, we see we're in position hold, and we see we've been flying for 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Center numbered below it is 762 meters, and actually I forgot what that was for. Oh, that's our elevation. Elevation, we're 764 meters here where I'm flying from. In the lower left corner, we have 11.40 volts left on the battery. And right now I'm hovering it at 1 kilometer per hour. Okay, I want to go out a little further. I'm going to go up a little higher too to improve the FPV reception. And go out at the same time. I'm checking my view. We're 220 meters, 225. 32 meters altitude, going up higher. I'm going to take it up to about 50, like I said. 38 meters, 39 meters, 42 meters, 290 meters out, 47, 49, 50. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. 321, 335, 343 meters out. And I'm looking for it, folks. Okay, got to maintain visual line of sight. I see a white dot in the sky, so I still got visual on it. 378, let's go out a little further, 381, 384, I'm going to keep my eye on it, 400 meters, 411, 415, 421, I still see it, 434, 441, I still see it, 462, 467, 474, 484, 490, 500 meters, folks. I'm going to call it quits right there, and the reason being, it's getting difficult to see out there. Now I'm going to turn it back toward us. So I got to put that arrow in the center toward us. We got to point it upward. That arrow's got to be pointed upward. Oh, I hit return to home accidentally. Turn to the left. Okay. Now this is where. Okay, we're pointing toward the sun. Let me lower the view. I don't want to see the sun. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to. At 517 meters, we still have FPV reception and control the quadcopter. So I'm going to bring it back. I'm pushing forward. So see what I mean about this being a great long-range explorer? It is pretty dang cool. I like this on-screen display. Okay, I got to be careful. Don't want to tilt it too far forward. You got to keep that antenna somewhat vertical in the plane of my antenna. 419, 413. You got to turn to the right a bit. Okay, that's better. I'm looking up, and I still have visual on it, making sure I do at 400 meters. Okay, see, we got 338. Got to keep that antenna plane somewhat vertical. Okay, pushing forward. I'm going to fly it visual toward me. Okay, I see now. See, that's why you got to keep this within visual line of sight, folks, because this can happen with FPV flyers. especially when you get way out there. And right now I'm tilted really far forward. And again, what would really go great with this quadcopter is if you would include get your own FPV monitor and put on better antennas, because I don't think you can change the antennas on this particular quadcopter. You know, a higher dB antenna, maybe a flat panel antenna, because the on-screen display information from this actually works on other monitors. Okay, I'm flying right overhead. I'm going to pop it right there overhead. I'm going to point my antenna up at it, and then the plane of it, and then we're going to point the antenna straight down toward us. And there we are. Hello. I'm going to wave my arm. Okay, going back up again with the camera. I'm talking funny because I'm holding the sunscreen with my chin. I don't want it tilting down. And I'm trying to maintain the antenna on the quadcopter, FPV antenna. Okay, let's come down a little lower. We're at 11.0 volts. When we get down to around 10.9, I want to demonstrate the, there's the road over there. I don't want to go to the road because there's cars that go around there. I don't want to fly over cars. But let's go up this way a bit. See what I mean by a cool long-range explorer this is. Coming down a little lower too, but let's bring it down to about 20 meters. Okay, lower my antenna to keep it in the plane. Okay, that's about a good altitude right there. Let's go out a little bit further. 223 meters. Now let's execute a return to home. I'm hitting that switch right now. Return to home. And first it stabilizes itself. Then it's going, I don't know if it's going to climb or not. It's at 17 meters right now. 199 meters, 195. So it's bringing itself back. It's leaving itself at about 17 meters. I guess if you go down too low, it will raise itself. But keep in mind that it doesn't seem to be raising itself above 17 meters. And it's flying straight toward me, it looks like. So it doesn't fly backwards. I'm looking up, there it is. Let's see how accurate its landing is. So all in all, I really like this quadcopter, folks. It's very functional, a lot of features, especially that on-screen display. I can't describe how helpful that information is on this on-screen display. And here it comes. Let you know. Look how I hold this on, folks. Velcro strap and black electrical tape. Hey, whatever works. And we'll tilt. It does a little bounce. Lets it. I guess it knows it's near the ground. And I haven't had this thing tilt over yet on one of these. This is the 4th time I've done a return to home and normal landings. I haven't tilted it yet. I'm coming back to normal. We're going to go back up now, and I want to try out headless mode and altitude hold. How much battery voltage? We've got enough. 11 volts, 10.8 volts. We're close. Going to IOC, and that's headless mode. And let's try out headless mode. The reason for headless mode is to do camera panning, which you can do. With this. You got to do it manually, but you can fly sideways, in other words, folks. Okay. Now, altitude hold. Let's fly that. The reason I want to do, we got enough voltage, we got enough. I want to try high-speed flying with altitude hold. How fast does it go? It actually starts to climb because the pressure's going down. the air pressure is dropping when you go into altitude hold, so you're going to have to lower that. It doesn't seem to do very well at altitude hold, because when the velocity increases, it does well when you're flying slowly, but as the velocity increases, the pressure lowers, and watch what happens. It starts to climb. See? It starts to climb. It thinks the pressure is going down and it thinks it's dropping. So it starts to climb in altitude hold at high velocity. So the altitude hold, but you're not going to really be flying this in altitude hold anyways. You're going to be flying this in position hold. And there we are in position hold. How much voltage? 10.78. We still got power. Let me raise that camera up a bit. Okay. I think that shows the features of this quadcopter. I'm going to land it now. How long have we been flying? 12.34 minutes. Yeah, let's go out a little longer. Voltage is 10.72, still okay. I'm going to land it at about 10.7. Now when this, okay, look at the sun. It doesn't like the sun. That's that. When you look toward the sun, the FPV view looks wiggly. See the sun? That's just a glitch, because the sun's real low right now, unfortunately. I fly early in the morning. It's summertime here. I gotta stop looking at the FPV screen. The reason I'm flying close is I want you guys to see this thing flying. It's a good flyer. Good quadcopter. So, all in all, I think the UPAir 1 is actually a good buy, folks. Particularly with what you're getting. You know, this is a feature-packed quadcopter. So I'm gonna land it. Let's try to land it right there. Bringing it down. You like my tie-dye shirt from Erie, Pennsylvania? When I fly these camera quadcopters, I like to wear bright clothing. There we go. And hold the throttle down and it will shut itself off. So all in all, this should have been a good flight. Look at the information, folks. 14, it gives you a summary of the flight. So that's pretty darn cool there too. So let's see, stopping the recording, make sure I got the video. Recording stopped. And let's turn off the quadcopter if it's not off. And notice right now we are at 1 bar, which means we're low battery. So that was a good time to land. So quick press and a long press. Oh, one more time. Quick press, long press. And we're off. And turning my transmitter off. So all in all, folks, the UPAir 1 from UPAir is a good FPV Explorer. I like it. I'm going to be using this actually quite a lot. I like this. This is one of my new keepers. Hope you enjoyed this flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out.